Namaskara. Today I'm going to talk about a topic which has been a taboo in the conservative society. It should not be discussed in public. It should not be told. It is a thing to be ashamed of. It is a thing to be kept secret. It's a thing we should not discuss. So, if you are curious, what is it which is such a taboo, which is such a secret? It's nothing but the fundamental reason that we are all here, we are all born. It is the periods. It's not a taboo subject. It's not only restricted to women. Women have periods, that's why the mankind is alive today, right? So, I am going to talk about this in relation to the society, the Hindu society, our cultural heritage. In Hindu society, forget about the caste, in every region of Bharat, somewhere or the other, every community has certain do's and certain don'ts about a menstruating woman. And why is that? Why there are so many don'ts? And we hear only the don'ts. Why there are so many don'ts for a menstruating woman? Our society, does it think that a menstruating woman is inferior? She should not be allowed to do certain things? She has no energy, she is not capable just because she is a woman and she menstruates. Is that the reason? Our society, did it consider that it is some inferior, shameful, to be kept kind of a secret? For all these questions, the answer is a firm no. Because in India, we have a temple dedicated to a menstruating goddess. Nowhere in the world, in Japan, there is restriction of, for an entry of women in few places. Shinto temples won't allow a menstruating woman to go there. In Greece, you have this culture in one of the temple tops, they don't allow women to enter. So what is this taboo? If this culture worships a menstruating woman, then why do we have so many don'ts, so many taboos for the girl, for the woman in society? The very reason that we have so many taboos, for example, in few regions, a menstruating woman can't take a bath, she can't cut her nails, she can't, any which way, the common things are she can't cook, she can't go to a temple, she can't sleep on the same regular bed. In few regions, here and there will be few changes, but more or less, the taboos are common. She can't do certain things during the menstruating cycle. If we go deeper, if we question, if we ponder, is there any science? Is there any scientific reason behind these taboos? The answer is astounding, because our ancestors knew that a woman's body goes through changes. At that time, a woman's body is very delicate, very vulnerable. That's why she needed that seclusion. She was not allowed to do any of the regular hardships, any of the laborious things, which will put her body into a further weakened status. Already she is losing so much blood. Already her hormones are in a very delicate state. Already her body is hot. Our ancestors knew that this delicate, weak, sensitive time should not be disturbed. That's why instead of, as usual, instead of explaining all these things, explaining the reason behind these don'ts, they've simply put, these are the don'ts. You can't do certain things. If we take why a menstruating woman is not supposed to cook in the kitchen, what happens? Nowadays, our mothers, us, everybody cooks. Why there was a no? One thing was hygiene. At the ancient times, there was not very great, instruments, very great ways to cut the flow of menstrual blood. That was one hygiene reason. The second most lesser known reason is, during that period, a woman's body is full of free radicals, because the very thing which happens in a woman's body during those days is her uterus will be ready to carry a baby. There will be an inner lining which grows, which we call endometrium. In every cycle, the body is getting ready, irrespective of the age, the body will be getting ready to carry a baby, to consummate that egg. But in every month that doesn't happen. So naturally the body will break the inner lining which was getting ready to carry a baby. It will break, and the natural processes, the woman starts bleeding. In this entire organic biological process, her body will be under tremendous oxidative stress. We understand oxidative stress because it's been taught, it's been advertised, it is shown everywhere. We understand the oxidative stress a body goes through, but we don't know, or rather we don't talk about this oxidative stress when it comes to menstruation. This free radical stress, or whatever the woman's body gives out, if we think in the Indian terminology, it is, we talk about the physical body, which is the sthula sharira, and our etheric body, which is the sukshma sharira. We all know about the auras, we all know about the chakras, all these things. These free radicals will impact the energy exchange, be it with the food, be it with another human being, or be it with any other object. The energy exchange between, let's not get too much into the quantum physics, let's not get carried away by this energy exchange, but in short, the energy exchange which happens when we touch or do anything is detrimental to the oxidative stress which a woman's body goes through during menstruation. That is the reason our body is already stressed, and we don't want to put more stress, more effort on that body. That is the single most reason behind most of the taboos. It is to protect the women's fragility at that period, nothing else. Instead of explaining this, instead of explaining what happens to the body, our ancestors simply said that don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. And we started questioning, because we got the knowledge of what goes through a woman's body medically in our textbooks, but nobody told us why something should not be done. That is not there in our textbooks. So our knowledge is only one-sided, whatever is imparted by our Western education. Now this is the reason behind the taboos at home. You can't cook, you have to sleep separately, you can't touch anybody, probably you can't take a bath, you can't cut your nails. Then why the temple entry is banned? Few years ago there was this huge uproar behind this Shabarimala and no entry for women, for menstruating women. Why is that? If the God who has created everybody, if divinity is same for everyone, why a menstruating woman is not allowed, is not welcomed in a temple? What happens? Our religion gets destroyed. The God, something of harm would fall upon the God. Is that the reason? Some curse will occur? No. If you know a little bit about the architecture, the entire planning of ancient Hindu temples, we should understand that Hindu temples are constructed for the single purpose of elevating your prana, the energy. The whole architecture, the plan, the surroundings, everything is conducive to uplift the energy. The movement of the energy, the urja, the chaitanya, what we call, should be upward. That is the whole single purpose of the temples. And most of our temples are on the top of a hill, or in a cave, or in some forest where you have to climb. Now, if that is the purpose of a temple visit, just imagine a woman who is menstruating. If she climbs, if she goes into a place where it is designed to lift the energy, to take the energy upward, and her body is going through a process of pushing something down, the blood should be forced down. What happens? Naturally, there will be a conflict of energies. There will be a clash. One thing is pulling up and one thing is pulling down. So what happens? It's very simple to understand that the body of a woman, which is already under tremendous oxidative stress, will again go through this conflict. Again, that much of stress her body has to take. It will impact the entire reproductive system. The whole reason for menstruation is reproduction. But going to a temple will have exactly the opposite effect for a menstruating woman. That is the reason. It's very simple and easy and logical. If there is a place, if the energy is pulling somewhere and our own energy is pulling somewhere, naturally the body will be the victim. If that is the case, then it's better that we don't get into such situations. This entire logical reasoning behind not going to a temple is not explained properly, and most of us don't know. We just know that we should not go to temple, we should not take part in the puja, or we should not take part in a havan. The reason is all these rituals, all these temple going, all these puja and havan are designed to lift one's energy, and the woman during her menstruation is going through a downward energy pace. So there should not be a clash. If we understand this simple logic and science behind the taboos, life will be much better. There will not be any conflict in accepting, in understanding our heritage, our rituals. It may be very difficult to follow certain things in today's time, but we all definitely can try, understand. We can definitely encourage, help, protect our women, our girls during that period. Since our society couldn't protect the girl, child who has just started her menstruation, the entire part of celebration stopped. In ancient times, even in some villages today, we had this culture tradition of celebrating the beginning of a girl's menstruation. It was a symbol of fertility. It was a thing to be celebrated. It was never a thing to be hidden, to be kept under wraps. The entire household, the entire village, the entire society used to join in congratulating, in celebrating a girl turning into a woman. At that time, a woman's body and whatever she's going through should be celebrated. That's why gifts were given. There was this festival atmosphere at home. People and the loved ones, the friends, family, everybody could come and congratulate. There will be new clothes. It was overall a celebration of womanhood, a celebration of fertility, a celebration of a girl becoming aware that she is a woman. It was not a thing to be held in secret or to be held in shame. That entire idea, it's such a beautiful idea. Celebrating a woman's womanhood is such a beautiful, lovely, empowering idea. But it had to stop. It had to stop somewhere because of the constant attacks. Most of our tradition, most of the rituals started losing their meaning, started losing their significance because of the kind of attacks the subcontinent had. Naturally, nobody would declare a girl that she has become a woman if there is a threat, if there is an imminent threat. Then nobody wants to declare that my daughter, my sister is a woman now. So, because of the constant attacks on our heritage, on our country, we had to stop the celebratory mode of a girl becoming a woman. It was not our fault. There was no shame in it. Over centuries, over a period of centuries, the attack stopped, but we are left with that thinking that it is a taboo, it is a shameful thing. A woman is not strong enough, a woman is not equal enough. She cannot be taught the Veda mantras, she cannot be a part of lots of rituals. It was never there to begin with. All these things came with the attack, with the changing society to protect whatever way they could find. But we today don't need to believe that these taboos, the tradition, the beliefs around menstruation is to suppress women. We can finally understand the logic, the science, the meaning behind all these taboos, and we can try to accommodate, adopt these things, because at the end of the day, the entire taboo rituals, everything is practiced, were being practiced to protect a woman, to protect her body, to protect her ability to reproduce. With that, I'll end this.